girl, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And it's not about who I think I am. It's about who God said I am. So, I'm sitting here having my smoothie. Ryan Coogler has finally released me from his grip, only to be replaced by clips. Both the album and the interviews. I have been down the rabbit hole, and I am incredibly fascinated and inspired by Malice's journey. Anyway, not why I'm here. The thing that inspired me to pop the camera on is that I think I am settling into the pace of the blessings. And I'm pausing because that's actually not true. That's not true. It's not true. I'm not settling into the pace. I'm actually just being introduced to it, is I think a more accurate statement. So I'm sitting here watching this interview of Malice and Pusha, and I get a text. So I check my phone, and instantly I feel my chest tighten up. So I'm like, okay, what's that? The text is from the producer of a podcast. Gotta rewind this story. I pitched a podcast. I can't remember if it was last year, earlier this year. Time is a weird thing right now. At some point, I pitched a podcast. A few months ago, I got word that the pitch was picked up and the project has been greenlit and we're moving forward. Exciting! And this is also unfolding as the TED Talk is approaching. So I'm like, oh, leading up to this, I'm like, how exciting. I'm going to do my TED Talk, and then the podcast is going to launch, and I'm working on this other project that I hope to finish by the end of the year and start to promote and share. Books and articles that I've contributed to are starting to come out. So it just feels like the second half of this year is going to like skyrocket, and it's exciting. And I'm like, yeah, all these things, perfect timing, coming out, do the things. And so that was me anticipating how it was going to feel. Exciting, right? All things in divine time, which I still believe. And I'm still excited. And the reality of what this requires of me is now setting in. So the excitement of, you know, what it would be to be able to share on the TEDx stage, on this podcast platform, the writings that I'm doing, all these things that are happening. I'm like, oh, it's going to be exciting to share. And it is. And the reality of birthing all of this, and the reality of being in the doing and making phase of all of this at the same time is, so this is where I am. I am in the, what is this? What does this feel like? So when my chest tightened up, right? I was like, okay, what's that about? And I'm realizing that the pace of this created a little, I would say it was a little opportunity to check in, right? Like, something's happening. The chest tightened up when that text message came through. What's that about? And it's not the message itself, certainly not the person. She's lovely, and I'm incredibly grateful and honored and blessed to be working with such an amazing person to bring this vision to life. So I just had to get curious, like, what was the chess? What was that about? And I think I just came off the TEDx talk, right? Like, you can probably see my balloons flowing into and out of the frame. And I'm honestly still coming down from it. Like, it was just a few days ago and the energy was buzzing. That is a whole nother thing we'll have to talk about. I need to look at all that footage and just even, I need to get out of it so I can even tell the story of what it was. Like, I'm still very much in it. And I think because I'm still very much in the energy of what that was and what it means and how I feel and all of those things, when the text message came through, because we got to move the project forward, right? Like, I'm the one who set a launch date, again, back when I was in my excited phase and, oh, this is going to be perfect. And I do still believe that. It's just the reality of making it happen is like, ah. So I'm still in the buzz of the TED, and I'm trying to just bask in, but also kind of slowly come down from that. And as I'm still there, people are still calling and congratulating and posting pictures and tagging me. And that's all still happening. Like, it's all still fresh. I get this text that's like, and honestly, I haven't even all the way read it yet. I just saw, like, they give a little preview, the first few lines. And I noticed the chest thing get tight. And I was like, okay, let me get myself grounded. Before I even get in here and read the whole thing, I need to settle myself and get into a place where I can receive and then respond to whatever the message is. So I see the message, I see the name, I know what it's about. And we talked, right? Like, last week leading up to the TEDx talk, I had a conversation with the producer of the podcast. And she told me what was upcoming. And I asked for her grace. I said, I have my TEDx this weekend. I would really like this week to be focused on that, right? I don't want to have my mind and energetic resources stretched thin. And again, lovely individual, she said, of course, wished me well in the TED Talk and said, let's check in next week. And so here we are. It's next week. It's Monday, but it's next week. And she's like, okay. And I get it, right? I understand timelines. I understand deliverables. I understand the background work that has to happen leading up to production and promotion and all of it. I understand. I've been here. I've done this. And seeing that message and knowing that I have to dive into that, especially because I'm projecting into the latter part of this week and I won't be able to, so I have to do it over these next 2 days before I get into the back half of the week where I'm just locked in some other things. And I'm like, okay, the pace. You just did this and, you had a day to be in it and all of that is happening and now we're on to the next thing. And the question that I'm sort of asking myself is, does this pace feel sustainable? Going back to, right, my creative values, does this pace feel sustainable? Um, um, I think in short bursts. I'm an athlete. I'm a swimmer in particular. And as a swimmer, we have 50-meter races, 100-meter races, 200-meter races, 500-meter races, all, range of distances is the point. I have always been a sprinter. Tell you that for free. I have always been a sprinter. High school, college, state, sprint. Okay? 50 meter, 100 meter. The reason I'm bringing that up is that sprints are meant to be all out for short bursts. And when I think about the pace of what I'm in right now, I am prepared to go all out for a short time. I can go straight from this TEDx into this podcast, into this other writing project, finishing the house in Costa Rica. The things that I see between now and the end of this year, I'm prepared to put my head down and go all out for these last 4 months. But I'm going to tell you right now for free, this is not a pace that I can sustain as a general rule as a creative. And in kind of feeling that resistance to like the message, and I think that's what it was, right? Like the message came through, the chest got tight because you're still in the energy of this one thing and it's already time to go to the next thing. And are you going to be able to sustain this energy? Because that's going to roll from production to promotion, and that's going to then roll into the next project. And then like, I still got the work that I do, right? Like this is me building my creative momentum, but I still have the work that is sustaining my life right now that I'm responsible for and need to prioritize. Girl, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And it's not about who I think I am. It's about who God said I am. And that is how I'm going to keep the pace for these next few months, is remembering that all of the things that are happening are things that I asked for, worked for, prayed for, called into my life. And so the energy of that, the reality of that, the gratitude for that, and ultimately the belief that these are things that I'm being entrusted with. These are messages that I am a vessel for. And I just really need to focus on staying that. These visions that God gave me, I'm now being given opportunities to birth those visions in massive ways, right? Like, these are not small platforms. I'm partnering with a radio station here in LA that's been around since I'm a child, owned by, in my belief, the most brilliant artists and creators of our time. One of the most powerful voices of not just this generation, but multiple generations, right? Like this person, I don't know how much I can say, so I'm being a little vague, but announcements soon come. But I'm just saying, like, what I don't get to do, what I don't get to do is, first of all, complain, which I'm not doing, by the way. And I certainly don't get to back down. I certainly do not get to turn my back on the very thing that I asked for, the very things that I asked for. Again, was not expecting them to manifest all at the same time. That wasn't on my bingo card. But also, when I think about how it is unfolding, I'm like, oh, it definitely makes sense. Like, it definitely makes sense that it is unfolding like this. I didn't expect it to, but it makes sense that it is. And again, that's a part of the reason why I'm like, I understand questioning the pace, and I appreciate giving myself the space to consciously decide if this is a pace that I can sustain. Because I think, again, that's part of me living in alignment with my values and recognizing that I do have some agency. I do have some say-so. I am co-creating this experience, and I do have some say-so around whether or not this is a pace that I can sustain. And so that means, as I think about pitching future projects, and I think about saying yes to things that come across my desk, and I think about staying close to and rooted in the reason why I create, so that I don't just get excited about the possibility of creating just as a general rule, which I was, right? Like I went through that phase very early on, just popping my camera up whenever, wherever, talking to whomever. That was a time when I was really just getting in the practice of having my camera on me, being ready to record, recognizing moments that felt like what I wanted to capture, noticing what those moments were and what was the thread that tied them all together. All of that helped me refine Okay, so now when I'm pulling out my camera with intention, it's because I have started to become clearer about the types of stories, the types of content, the types of visuals, the types of whatever I want to put out there. So now that I'm in that more intentional phase, the thing that inspires me to create is coming from clarity about the message I feel called to share, right? So whatever I'm creating, whether I'm writing, whether I'm sharing in this series, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm doing, this particular season or this leg of the journey is calling me to be more intentional. And I think that's just tied to the question of sustainability, right? Like, if I'm just saying yes to everything, that won't be sustainable. I can't be yes over here and yes over there, and oh, sure, I'll be on your show and your podcast and your project, and yeah, I'll come to this and I'll moderate that and I'll speak over here and I'll facilitate that. Like, I cannot do it. I can't. That's not sustainable. So, yes to TEDx. I said yes to TEDx over 10 years ago. That's not even, everybody kept asking me, are you nervous? Are you nervous? I kept saying, this feels like an appointment that I finally arrived at. Like, it feels like we scheduled this a long time ago, and it's finally just time for me to arrive at my appointment. So again, more about the TED Talk will come very soon because I'm still kind of just even processing that whole thing. Yes to TEDx, yes to this podcast, yes to the writing, yes to other visuals projects that I foresee coming in the near future. And maybe that's all I say yes to for now. Maybe I don't say yes to anything else. There's already another series of writings that I have started and continue to slowly work on in the background, but have committed to myself that I will really give them the time and energy and attention that they require and deserve at a future point in time, a few years off from now, just because that feels like the right answer when I talk to God about how to approach that. So, yeah, I think I just needed to kind of sit with like, what, what was that chest tightness? And it was really sort of me feeling like, oh my God, is this going to be like, I instantly became anxious about, is this what it's going to be? And thankfully this pause gave me the space to say, not if you don't want it to be. It doesn't have to be this. If I give you my yes, then I want to give you my best. If I spread myself too thin, then obviously I'm not giving you the best of me. I'm giving you what's left of me. I'm giving you the crumbs. I'm giving you this what I got. Take it or leave it. And particularly and especially when I'm thinking about the things that I create, I don't want it to come from that place. I don't think that that's fair to the work. I don't think that's fair to the audience. I don't think that's fair to the vision. I don't think that's fair to my gift. I don't think that's fair to God who called and counted on me to do a thing. I don't think it's fair. So when I say yes to something, I want to show up and offer the best version of what I have to give in that thing, whatever that thing is. And right now I can do that. I did that. I believe wholeheartedly with all of my being that I did that with the TED Talk this weekend. I believe as I prepare for the podcast that I will do that in that space as well. I have a phenomenal co-host that I'm going to be working with. And the writing certainly is that, because that ain't nothing but God waking me up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning telling me, write this, say this. Right? So I already know that that's just going to be exactly what it needs to be, because I'm literally just the vessel in the hands for that. Yeah. So that was really helpful. I'm feeling a lot better now than I was when I first turned the camera on, because I literally read the text message and was like, oh no, I can't do this. I instantly feel like I can't do this. And that's not true. I can. And I know that, which is why I had to pause and give myself an opportunity and give myself permission to come back to that truth. I need to just kind of talk myself through it. And that's really what it was. It was just me feeling like, oh, these things are coming very quickly and I can't sustain this pace. But the truth is, I can sustain this pace for short bursts of time because I'm a sprinter. Part of what I'm figuring out is the pace of my process and what I need to be able to sustain the output that aligns with and reflects my core values and my integrity. So yeah, that's that's where I am. I appreciate the space to just process that. Now, let me let me see what this text is really saying, so I can. Oh, okay, okay, that is doable. See what I'm saying? The anxiety came. This is often the case. The thing that you're anxious about isn't even as bad as you thought it was going to be, and so there's that. So I'm gonna reply to this text, and I'm gonna get busy doing what I gotta do. Okay. Okay.